Okay, welcome back to another episode of Steven Show's Myah Movies.
I sew you movies now?
Yeah, you sew
with
me
a needle
movies.
and thread?
Yes.
It's impressive.
This is the podcast title that explains itself, except he did not show me this movie. We watched it for the first time at the same time. Together. I don't know why I said it like that. It was American Psycho.
Mm-hmm. Not Russian Psycho, because that, I won't say it because Russians are... Anyway.
No controversial statements on this podcast. Anyway, I read the book for this movie.
Technically, you showed me the movie via the book that you read.
I guess, sort of.
This is a Myah shows Steven movies segment.
Yeah.
Parentheses, from the book.
Yeah, I read the book, maybe last year. And I've wanted to watch this movie for a while. Because I've heard that, I think because, you know how Dune's really popular?
Dune, yeah.
People are saying that, the movie makes the book experience better. And I've heard people say that for American Psycho, the movie's actually better than the book. So I wanted to confirm.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I feel about it.
Is it one of the Jurassic Park situations where the book and the movie, they're, interchangeable? They're both really good?
I can see why the movie would be considered better than the book.
Oh, okay.
Because the book was very long, drawn-out descriptions of every character's clothing, every character's, items, long monologues about music, which you saw in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's, kind of boring to read, I think, at sometimes. It gets tedious.
Yeah, I can see that, because it's just a paragraph of one button on a guy's shirt or whatever.
Yeah, they're talking about the suit, style, make, model, brand,
mm-hmm.
Goes super in depth. And then there's, he has, 5 friends, so he talks about every single person's suit.
So that's, 50 pages times 2.
Yeah, so it's very tedious to read, and it's, it can be boring. So I can see why the movie's preferable, because it, shows it rather than,
you don't have to...
states it.
Yeah, read the
in
words
a way.
To explain what you can just see with your eyes.
Yeah, so I can understand. Also, the book was way more violent and descriptive and disturbing, so I can see how, American Psycho people like the movie, because, it's not as bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's still bad.
It's still kind of... Yeah, it's still pretty... It's, bad, but not really, I mean, is it really as violent as, it's kind of, equally as violent to, action movies, I feel like.
Yeah, if you're, compared to, the recent Halloween movies, I think it's kind of tame.
Yeah, it is. Doesn't it seem kind of tame compared to current, horror movies?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like at the time it might have been really disturbing, because it was released in 2000.
That's what I was just gonna look up.
Yeah, I saw it on Letterboxd when I was adding it to my list. So, yeah, I can see how, it might be disturbing then. I feel like we're desensitized a little to it.
Yeah, because we've seen so, many action and horror movies.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of blood spatter and whatnot.
Yeah, so the book was actually, really way more disturbing. I actually remember I was, listening, because I, on my drives, I like to listen to, books on tape or, a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was reading American Psycho, so I decided to, listen to it where I left off. And I remember driving home one day to, a very vile description of, a guy, him murdering, a prostitute. And it was very disturbing, and I was just driving home, and it was, he, I don't even want to say, what he did.
We can understand the picture of you driving home wide-eyed going, why am I listening to this? Why am I listening to this?
Yeah, it was, very, yeah, it was just, yeah. But, I liked this movie. I enjoyed watching it. I think it was a fun watch.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Just not something that I would, want to watch over and over again.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't rewatch this movie. Maybe, years in the future.
Yeah, this is, once in a decade. Every once in a while, you put it on and go, oh, yeah, this movie exists.
Yeah. I do think, okay, so the scenes that were different, some of the order was different from the book.
Oh, okay.
How I mentioned before, the homeless man being murdered, that didn't happen till later.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, when he's on the phone call with the lawyer, making, listing out all of his kills, he actually does do those kills in the book. He was talking about how he killed that gay man with a dog.
Yeah.
That did actually happen in the book. Although the book is kind of fuzzy, right? Because I haven't read it recently. I read it, a year ago, so it's, kind of fuzzy. But he does kill, like, a lot of people, and he kind of descends into madness, like, as you can tell.
Yeah, very clearly.
Yeah. Well, one difference that comes to mind is when he's, like, oh, frick, I forget his friend's name. I think it's George. Like, remember that scene in the bathroom? Where he was, like, Bateman is going to choke out that guy,
oh, yeah,
but then
yeah,
the guy
yeah.
was, like, thought it was an advance.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I feel like in the book it happened in an elevator, but I'm not sure. Now I'm questioning things. Maybe it did happen in the bathroom.
Your memory is failing you.
Yeah.
How can you be a trustworthy source?
I don't know. But basically, like, it's funny because he goes to murder him because his business card is so, like, elite in his eyes, so much better than his own. Basically, Bateman is, like, a very shallow person who, like, tries to imitate, like, humans.
You know what? That's a pretty good description, honestly.
Like, the humans around him, like, because he's, like, works on Wall Street. It's also funny, I don't know if you noticed how he doesn't actually do any work.
No, like, none of them do.
Like, he's a vice president.
They're, like, all vice presidents.
Of acquisition and mergers, but he doesn't actually do anything. Like, he's listening to music and, like, drawing in his little planner.
Yeah.
Or, like reading a magazine at work.
Yeah.
And he's not actually, like, hedge funding anything.
Mm-mm.
And he's, like, vice president. And so he has, like, a shit ton of money. And all he does is, like, make reservations at fancy restaurants, like, drink, do drugs, and, like, murder people.
Yeah.
And go on dates with, like... like, what was her name? Cecilia, but then has an affair with Patricia or whatever her name was, and, like...
All these different women.
Yeah, but basically, like, the book is kind of showing how, like, that, like, high society is all about, like, appearances, and no one actually, like, gives a shit about anyone else.
Yeah, everything's taken at face value.
Yeah, everything's taken at face value. Everybody just wants to one-up each other, have the best, like, be the most fit, be with the prettiest girl, like... have the best suit, have the best business card. Like, they're all competing with each other. And no one actually likes anyone.
No.
And, like, oh, shit. There's a point I really wanted to make, but I forgot. No.
Well, while you try and think about that, I'll say this thing. Okay. There was a point where he asked someone to ask him a question, and she was like, "What do you do?" He was like, "Murders and assassinations." And she's like, "Oh, mergers and acquisitions?" And I was like, "That's funny."
No, I thought he said murder and executions.
Oh, one of the two.
Yeah.
Either way, but she heard the other thing.
Yeah. It's funny because he's, like, very obviously, like, saying stuff, but everyone just thinks he's joking.
Yeah.
Like, he, like, calls and confesses to his lawyer. Yeah. Okay. Basically, no one actually cares about anyone because half the time, like, several characters... like, mistake Bateman for some other guy. Like, Paul... Frick, what's his name? Paul
Allen.
Paul Allen mistakes Bateman as some other guy. And that's the only reason, like, they go out to dinner together.
Yeah.
Because I remember he mentions, like, Bateman's, like, a nerd or something. And then Bateman's like...
Such a loser.
Because they think he's Marcus something.
Yeah. The other guy that has, like, the same suit and gets, like, the same haircut and wear the same glasses.
Yeah,
even though Patrick Bateman goes, "I have the better haircut."
Yeah, so they mistake, like... They literally, like, don't even know who people are.
Yeah.
Like, that's how, like, surface level... Like, they don't give two shits about anyone. They don't know anyone. They just, like... it's all face value, like, surface level. Because another thing is, like... when he confesses to the lawyer, he's like, "No, I killed Paul Allen. The lawyer's like, "No, you didn't. I had dinner with Paul Allen in London 10 days ago." It's like, no one even, like, recognizes each other. They're all just, like, peacocking and, like, showing off, flaunting, like, being like, trying to be the best. They don't actually, like, they're not invested in anyone else.
Yeah.
And everyone's, like, cheating and having affairs with other people. And you can just see, like, no one actually, like, really cares about anything.
It doesn't really matter what he does because there's no way for anyone to actually know that he's him.
Yeah. So, it's just all surface level. It's just really... It's interesting about, like, the wealthy or, like, I guess, like, Wall Street. I don't know. It's all, like, appearances. I don't know
who's... Like the high society of the world or whatever.
Yeah. And everyone, like, wants a reservation at, like, the best restaurant. Like, they're like, "Oh, I can get a reservation." Like, throughout the whole film, there's restaurant Dorsia, which Paul, like... No, sorry, not Paul. Patrick Bateman can't get, like, a reservation to. And, like, I think part of the reason why he hated Paul Allen was because Paul Allen had, like, the better apartment. He had the better, like, case. Like, remember how he's like, how did you get to work on this, like, project? Or, like...
Oh, yeah, the...
How did you get on that?
Client.
Yeah. So he's a better client. He's a better case. He's a better client, better apartment. He has his own tanning bed.
In his apartment.
Like, he's, like, leagues above Bateman, and then Bateman doesn't like that, so then he ends up killing him.
Yeah.
And then, like, from there, he kind of, like, descends into madness. And there's, like, a private investigator who's, like, questioning Bateman, and it's just so funny because he, like... They're like, oh, where were you? Bateman's like, oh, like, I think I may have been on this date. I'm not sure. And the guy's like, but that's not what my information says. And then later on, he's like, yeah, like, according to this source, you were, like, he was out to dinner with this guy, and Patrick Bateman. And, like, he wasn't there. So it's just, like, nobody even knows who the hell people are. It's just crazy. And it's literally insane that he just gets away with everything. And he doesn't, like...
There's no
repercussions.
That's the word, yeah.
So, I thought it was funny. Which makes sense. No repercussions for, like, wealthy, rich, white men kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
You know, how the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it was an enjoyable watch. I thought the pacing was pretty good. You can definitely see, like, his descent into craziness.
Yeah, especially towards when he gets the woman the second time.
Yeah.
That's, like, when you really see him go, oh, he is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, more so than he already is. But...
I feel like they're kind of doing it in a tasteful way where, like, they don't show any, like, violence, like, outright. Like, they do. Like, they show him, like, stabbing people and, like, shooting.
Yeah, but not, like, the action itself. But not, like, they're not focused on it.
Yeah. But, like, they don't, like, show, like, him, like, torturing. Because he, like, doesn't kill them right away in the book. He, like, tortures them for, like, a while. There's one scene where he, like, puts, like, a starving rat up, like, a girl's, like, vagina, and the rat eats her from the inside. And she's alive. Yeah, it's very, like, just, like, gross. So, that's just, like, a sneak peek of, like, what the book is.
Oh.
So the movie is, like, much more tasteful. So, like,
yeah.
the girl, Christy, that's, like, not her real name, but she is, like, running away, trying to escape, and she, like, opens the door and bumps into, like, all these bodies that have been, like, completely, like, destroyed.
Yeah. Maimed, tortured,
killed,
stabbed,
murdered.
Cut.
And it just shows, like,
everything.
How crazy and addicted, like, he couldn't, like, in the beginning, his murders were spaced apart. Like, he only, like, he didn't murder every day, but it seemed like his taste for blood was stronger and stronger, and he couldn't resist. I mean, he says that. He's like, yeah, I can't, like...
I can't do the murders because you can't let me.
Yeah, actually, it's interesting because I think in the book, he, like, considers killing Cecilia, and I think he also considers killing Patricia, or whatever the other girl was. But he doesn't actually do it.
The fiance and his secretary?
No, his fiance and the affair, the person he's affair with. Also, in the book, he does actually take his secretary out, and they attempt to go to Dorsia, and he tries to pretend like he's someone else to get, like, a seat, but it doesn't work, and then he starts cackling, and then the girl is so confused, but then she thinks it's all a joke, and, like, she's still, like, alarm bells don't raise in her head, even after, like, I don't know if I even explained that well, but...
I got it.
Yeah.
But I figured it out.
Because she's in love with him, if you didn't know.
Yeah. And that was pretty clear. Because she was like, oh my goodness. You're, like, really cool. But, like, also you're crazy, but I don't know that.
Yeah, frick. I don't know, like... I guess the private investigator just dropped the case because, like, there was there's sites of Paul Allen in London.
Yeah, quotations.
Frick, there was something that I wanted to mention, but I forget.
I didn't realize Willem Dafoe was in this. Mr. Green Goblin himself.
Yeah.
That was cool. He's very young. I mean, this was what? Like 1 year before Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's young. And also, Jared Leto is in it as well.
Jared Leto.
And then
we learned about my despise for him in the Dark Knight episode.
Yeah. Patrick Bateman.
Is Batman.
It's Batman with an extra E.
Yeah. Electronic Batman.
Which is funny. But I guess he was Patrick Bateman before he was Batman.
Yeah, 5 years before. Because this was 2000. Batman Begins was 2005.
He went from a murderer to a hero.
Yeah, well, that's something I wanted to say. It's like if Batman was the Joker, but if the Joker was like extremely violent.
Yeah. Well, the Joker is kind of extremely violent.
I was comparing it to Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, he's still violent, but like...
He's violent in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't think he, like... Honestly, Heath Ledger, like, he did say he was going to blow up the hospital, but, like, he gave a good warning. So they were able to evacuate. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just wanted to, like, be a rival to Batman, I think.
Yeah.
And he liked the chaos of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this isn't about that.
This isn't about The Dark Knight. This is about American Psycho.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to an extent. I didn't really like know what to expect from this movie besides like the one scene of the two scenes of that scene as well.
There's very iconic scenes.
The morning routine, him axing Paul Allen, and then the cards, the business cards.
Oh yeah, the business card scene is super funny.
Those are the only things that I really knew about.
There's like on TikTok, there's like a huge trend around the face that that Patrick Bateman makes when he's at dinner with Paul Allen, and Paul Allen's like they're talking about girls, and he's like Cecilia, and then he says another girl, and he's like, oh, she has a nice ass, and then Paul Bateman goes. It's called like the Sigma face, and it's like huge on TikTok. Like people try and mimic it. I don't know why. Like people on TikTok, there was like a bit of time where people were like obsessed with American Psycho on TikTok, and they were like glamorizing it. They were like, I'm gonna be Patrick Bateman. I'm him. It's like I don't think you would want to be Patrick him. Bateman. Mm-mm. But
no.
Yeah.
A year ago in one of my film classes, like we were doing group projects, and my group members, they all seen American Psycho, and they were like quoting it, and I was like, yeah, I know these things. But now I do.
Now you know.
Now I understand.
There's another famous line where he's like, I would like to take her out to dinner, treat her real nice. And then the other part wants to see what she would look like with her head on a stick. That's like a huge, like, famous line from American Psycho. And then also, like, I am simply not there line.
Or I have to return some videotapes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the book, he actually does rent lots of videotapes.
Oh.
He's, like, kind of, like, the reason he's, like, so obsessed with, like, movies and film and, like, knowing, like, he doesn't actually like any of it, I think. He just wants to be seen as knowledgeable about pop culture, and like he knows a lot of stuff and blend in more.
Well, the one line of I just want to fit in.
Yeah, so that's like why I don't think he actually has any interest. I could be way off, but I'm pretty sure like he's only doing that to like show off how much knowledge he has. Just like it's just like the whole thing is just showing off like everything about himself.
Putting out this idea that, I mean, he even says it, of the idea of Patrick Bateman. He exists, but not like him himself.
Like, it's funny though because like he's very handsome. He has like his hair is all like neat. Mm-hmm. He's like manicured. He's tan. He's fit. Mm-hmm. And like the other hedge fund guys are still like, yeah, he's a loser. And it's just like, what else? Like
you're all like the same person.
Yeah, they're literally like different copies of the same guy, and it's like, what else like would impress you? So it's just you can never be good enough in that world. But
although the story aspect of him, like after he went completely berserk, and him explaining exactly what he did to his lawyer, and like that sort of character growth of like understanding, well, maybe not like fully understanding, oh, I did bad things, I need to confess to this. That's interesting for like this kind of character to go, oh, I did all of these things, please put me in jail. I mean, he didn't necessarily say that, but just to have someone so chaotic and unstable to realize that I shouldn't be doing these things.
Yeah.
And then to be told, actually, we don't care. Keep doing it.
Yeah, that's basically like, they're just like, no, you didn't do that. And then they move on. Because I think he breaks down because he thinks he's not going to get away with it.
Yeah.
But then he does end up getting away with it.
Yeah, and he's completely shocked by it, which is why he's so, focused on his lawyer at the end.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know if... I, like, forget the ending of the book. I don't think he gets caught. I can't remember, though. But he definitely doesn't get caught in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he basically, like, realizes there's no consequences to his actions. So I guess he's probably going to keep murdering people.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's look at some reviews.
Let's look at some reviews. Reviews
for American Psycho. It received a 3.9 on Letterboxd, so positive ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, yes, Patrick Bateman is an awful, terrible person who kills people. But you know what he doesn't do? Let his friends get away with making anti-Semitic statements.
That is true.
It is funny because in the beginning he goes on this whole monologue saying the most general, basic things.
Like the most political speech that any politician would ever give.
Yeah, but it's like so basic. It's like, we need to, like, women's rights, and we need to bring back moral values, and we need to
we need to
focus,
do the right thing.
We need to feed the there's a homeless, we need to feed and clothe the homeless.
Yeah.
And then, well, it's like the most basic takes on anything he says, and everyone's like, wow, that's profound.
When you hear a presidential speech, that's what you hear.
Yeah. Patrick Bateman's horrified reaction when he saw his colleague's business card and said it even has a watermark was the most dramatic moment in cinematic history. Someone says, I love how William Dafoe has been the same age for 20 years.
He has been the same age for so long. Just like Patrick Stewart.
Someone said, Dorsia was the real villain all along. Which, it is a restaurant. Someone said, I just imagine Patrick Bateman being a Letterboxd user who writes detailed reviews of movies he's watched and then breaks into a cold sweat after he sees someone who wrote a one-liner joke review got more likes than him. True.
Oh, I can see it already.
True. Someone says, as a graphic designer, I too start vigorously sweating at the sight of copperplate Gothic typography on a business card. Someone said, he's a child of divorce. Give him a break.
Yeah, he's Batman. His parents were murdered.
Someone's review just says, I have to return some videotapes. Someone said, I feel like this is how you feel. Someone said, a bit underwhelming, if I'm being honest. Definitely a good movie, but not anything that really hits me in any particular way.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What'd they give it?
3.5.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you gave it.
Am I that person?
Someone says, I wrote down Patrick's skincare routine. Oh my god, someone wrote the entire monologue of his, like, when he calls his lawyer.
Oh.
That's
wow.
too long.
Nice.
I can't.
Now just think. Christian Bale had to memorize that.
That's a lot.
Oh, one thing I want to say. Christian Bale is fantastic in this.
Yeah, he does a very good job. His acting is very good. He's, like, very creepy. Like, he kind of is, like, menacing. Like, the scene... Oh, yeah. I want to talk about this scene where Paul Allen's apartment, he kills so many girls in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he just leaves it. And then he comes back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's completely repainted, redecorated, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that does happen in the book. And he literally, like, goes... Like, he's like, did I just imagine that happened? That I killed those girls? Like, what actually happened? But I just thought that was so, like, crazy. Like, no one cares about anything. They just care about appearances. They, like, painted up, made it look nice for the so they could show it and people could buy it. Like, they didn't care. There was murders. They're just like, nope.
Well,
we don't want to affect the resale value. We gotta make sure it looks good. It's crazy. Someone said, Patrick Bateman struggling to choose his favorite Whitney Houston song is very realistic. It's one of the main struggles I go through, too.
Actually, talking about Christian Bale and his acting, I watched Red Eye yesterday, and Cillian Murphy, he has a very creepy face in general, but it works because it's so strange. If he was in Christian Bale's role, I think he could have done a pretty decent job as well, because he's just creepy sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. The blue eyes are kind of scary sometimes.
And there's some shots in Red Eye where it's just like a high angle of like just his eyes and nose and mouth, and you're like, oh, don't look at me.
Sorry to Cillian Murphy out there. No offense is meant.
You're really good, though. I love you, man. Okay?
No offense is meant.
Imagine he's listening to this. He's our one viewer.
Yeah, he's the one viewer we have. Someone said, I relate to Patrick Bateman because I, too, go on long, unprovoked rants about my favorite albums at completely inappropriate times. Oh yeah, a social satire on the materialistic, self-obsessed, and money-driven yuppie generation of the 1980s. America that also mocks male narcissism in the process. American Psycho presents a community made up of people who all have all the luxury money can buy, yet no individuality of their own. A world where everyone looks and dresses and acts exactly the same and measure themselves only by their external appearance and material possession. Which makes sense, which is why they all look and dress the same, so no one knows who anyone actually is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought Patrick Bateman's apartment is very fitting. It looked very, creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It looked nice, but, it was so barren and devoid of, anything.
Personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also interesting because everything's, pristine and white. But, on the inside of, what he does, it's not that. He's a very dirty man.
Exactly. It's all about appearances.
Mm-hmm.
All about appearances. Someone said, I think he wants to fit in. True. A lot of people just keep saying that they love the fact that Jared Leto was murdered. Is there a controversy around him? Is that why people want him murdered?
People just don't like him. Because he's literally insane, which I mentioned before in The Dark Knight. Because when he was doing...
He played Joker, didn't he?
Yeah, when he was doing Suicide Squad and playing Joker, he sent live rats to his co-stars because he's a method actor.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And also, didn't he play Morbius?
Yeah. Oh, fun fact about Morbius.
I hated Morbius.
Michael Keaton had a cameo in that movie, and he walked up to Jared Leto on set one day, and he was like, and Jared Leto's all method and doing whatever he was doing, and Michael Keaton went up and went, "Oh, you're doing that? Okay, I'm just gonna go over here." So.
Someone said, how do finance film bros look up to Patrick Bateman? Could the satire be less glaringly obvious? This was literally hysterical at points. How do people see this as anything other than a dark comedy? It's funny.
It is funny.
It's funny. It is funny in a weird way.
Yeah, there were like I said before, the joke about the murders and executions. No, murders and acquisitions? I like that joke.
That's pretty good. So it's Patrick Bateman must have been devastated when Blockbuster closed. He had to find a new alibi.
I have to return some... Oh, that doesn't work anymore.
Okay, this review is funny, but it has a scene... Okay, I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
This is a perfect movie as it is, but there are so many parts of the book that I wish they adapted, like the one where Patrick goes into the video store and he wants to rent out porn, but he's too embarrassed because there's so many people inside the store who could see him renting porn. So he goes to the comedy section and decides to rent a Woody Allen film, but he still isn't satisfied, so he browses other genres, and then he starts getting an anxiety attack because there's too many movies for him to choose from. So he takes Valiant to calm down and decides to rent out Body Double in 1984, which he says he's already seen 37 times. There's a part where he was out on the street and started seeing people dress up in colorful clothes, and he thought it was Halloween, but as it turns out, he was just in the middle of a pride parade. And there's also one where he starts eating sand at the beach for literally no reason. He literally just kind of is, like, insane in the book. He has meltdowns, like, it's just... The fact that we get Green Goblin interrogating Batman for the murder of Morbius, it's marvelous. I'm going to end the review on that one.
Now it's time for fun facts. Facts that are fun.
Fun facts.
During production, Christian Bale followed the morning routine that his character Patrick Bateman describes toward the beginning of the film.
Oh, Patrick Bateman did have very pristine skin. So I guess he did have to do a routine.
Yeah. And also, I believe Christian Bale did a bit of method acting for this role as well. But he's not as crazy as Jared Leto, so he's okay.
Does it within the acceptable social standards.
There's a line, and then once you hit that line, you stop.
Yeah.
Jared Leto goes past that line.
I can't imagine, like, getting a box of rats in the mail. I would be, like, so disturbed by that.
Looking for a way to create the character of Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale stumbled onto a Tom Cruise appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman. According to co-writer and director Mary Herron, Bale saw in Cruise this very intense friendliness with nothing behind the eyes.
Oh my god.
And Bale subsequently based the character of Bateman on that. I love that. He saw Tom Cruise and went, he's insane.
Isn't Tom Cruise in Scientology?
Yeah,
that
he's
could
cuckoo.
be why.
Yeah, he's
That's
insane.
why.
He's always trying to kill himself by throwing himself off bridges and whatnot.
Really?
He does all his own stunts.
Oh, I thought he was literally jumping off bridges.
I mean, he is, though, for his own stunts.
But, like,
He jumped out of a plane.
not with the intention to die.
Well, maybe a little part of him.
Maybe a little bit. It's because he's trapped in the Church of Scientology.
He cuckoo.
Don't join Scientology, listeners.
Don't do it.
Don't.
It's bad. You'll take all your money.
Don't do it.
And if your family goes, you shouldn't do this, and then like the Scientology finds out, they'll tell you to cut them off, and then you'll never be able to see your family again.
Yeah, so just don't even bother starting or getting into that. Anyway, back to your fun facts.
During the shooting of the film, Christian Bale spoke in an American accent offset at all times. At the rap party, when he began to speak in his native British accent, or Welsh accent, because he's Welsh.
I did not know that. I thought he was American.
Mm-mm. Many of the crew thought he was speaking the British accent, the Welsh accent, as an accent for another film. So everyone thought he was American throughout the entire shoot.
Oh my god, damn. He must have been good at his American... I mean, yeah,
we heard it.
It was good. I didn't even know he was British.
Yeah, he's a Welshy man.
Dang.
The single biggest cost of the film was purchasing the rights to the various songs used.
Oh my gosh.
The vast majority of the dialogue in the movie is taken word for word from the novel.
Yeah, that checks out.
The whoosh sounds during the famous business card scene was created by slowing down the sound of a sword being drawn from its sheath.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
Interesting. During his big chainsaw scene, Christian Bale would happily, literally, hang out between his takes wearing nothing but socks and tennis shoes.
Naked.
Well, actually, I read that wrong.
Oh, you did read that wrong.
There was a sock, but it was over something.
Over something that shouldn't have been seen.
My brain skipped over it. Anyway.
You were close. He was a little more modest. But only by a little.
Just a little bit. Christian Bale extensively studied the book in trying to create the character and get the feel of the character correct. He distanced himself from others while on set in order to create a mysterious, unsettling vibe.
He was successful.
Yeah. And hopefully not like Jared Leto levels of insane.
Jared Leto's hair in this was really ugly. It was really bad.
Just all slicked back.
It was really bad. It was too long and it was like orangish. It was kind of ugly.
This film was initially given an NC-17 rating by the MPAA. And that's usually like that film won't be shown anywhere. But
well, considering like what action movies are nowadays, that would like be considered like
I think
maybe it would be R.
More so for the Devil's Tango. All those scenes.
Oh yeah, it would be R. It would be R. Well, PG-13.
Not for this kind.
Yeah, no. That seems too tame for like. That's too tame of a rating for this movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely rated R.
Yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned this, he's never shown doing any work.
I know.
Listen to music, draw
Never any work.
This is the first film in which Christian Bale started his run of different physiques and body transformations. Because he's, like for some movies, he's super skinny or like quite large. And this was apparently the first because he had to be really fit.
He's buff. And he had abs.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty chiseled.
Christian Bale, I'll finish on this one. Christian Bale underwent extensive dental work in order to play the character of Patrick Bateman. It is unclear whether or not this was a personal choice or whether he was instructed to do so by that. Wait, hold on. Keanu Reeves was offered the lead role. He would not have been a good choice for this.
I don't think so either. Who would not.
No. Look, I love Keanu Reeves, but sometimes his acting isn't all that great.
Yeah, no. He's like an action star, not like a psychological type of guy.
Yeah. Like, Cillian Murphy could have done well. Christian Bale obviously did very well. Ewan McGregor, maybe.
I think Cillian Murphy could have done a good job. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't think, like, he was in Hollywood at this time. At least prominently.
Yeah. How new was Cillian Murphy to the scene of actors?
I think, 2005 was when he was in Batman Begins, and that was, like, one of his first films. His first film with Christopher Nolan. But Red Eye was also the same year. And then he did another one 28 days later with, I think, was like 2003 or something? So maybe like around that time. He was coming to America to be in films.
Wow. Everyone wants to be in America.
America!
American
Psycho!
And that will conclude our American Psycho discussion.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
It was a fun watch, but probably won't be watched again.
No.
So,
or at least not for a very long time.
I would not recommend watching this movie if you don't like violence or sex.
Or if you're with your parents.
Yeah, probably not the best movie to watch with your parents. Good thing we didn't do that. But it's pretty entertaining. So, give it a watch and let us know your thoughts down below.
Yes.
And then we'll see you in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.